Slurpty derp, my G's. How are you guys doing today? I hope you're all doing super sick. For those of you who don't know me, I am Artifact and I'm a music production wizard. I teach music production, I make my own music, all kinds of good stuff. And today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make a ground-breaking, earth-shattering neurofunk bass with a synth which is known as phase plant. And the thing about this synth is it's not free like Vital, unfortunately. I know some of you guys, you love the Vital, and I love the Vital too. But the thing is, phase plant is a great synth, and I don't work for kilohertz, but I just like to use the best synth that I feel I can express myself in. So today, what we're going to do is we're gonna make a really sick neurofunk bass. I hope you guys will enjoy it. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you do subscribe. I sometimes throw fruit around my room to try and get you to subscribe, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the thing is, no fruit will be harmed in this specific tutorial anyway. But yeah, let's get into the video, guys. All right, my G's, and shout out to everyone in Australia or New Zealand. I'm not sure what that accent was more similar to. Maybe leave a comment down below. Yeah, I've got a lot of students from that part of the world as well. It's a big part of the world for D&B, so big ups to all you guys. And I love trying different accents, and doing the Australian accent or New Zealand accent is always a fun one to do. Yeah, let me know if I smashed it or if it was just like okay, or yeah, whatever. Anyway, I've made a really cool bass though, in all seriousness, and I'm quite happy with it. So why don't I go ahead and give you a little demo of the loop.
The parables of phase plant.
So that's the specific bass that we're going to be focusing on today. I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. And yeah, all of the other sounds I've sort of made, I've shown you how to make them in the previous few videos. There's these sort of phase plant drums, which you can go back and watch if you want to. And I've just added this extra little... I could, if you want me to make a tutorial on that, it's like a chord stab I made in phase plant, let me know and I will. But I thought it's quite easy to make, so it wasn't really worth doing a full video for. But this bass though is really wicked, I think. And so yeah, I'm gonna jump into like exactly how I made this one because it sounds dope. And yeah, the other little bass here is the band pass bass that I made recently in Vital. So we've got a nice combination, a nice marriage of Vital and phase plant basses in this video. But let's jump into the voicing of the phase plant bass.
Listen.
So I've got four main sort of ingredients, sound sources that create this bass. First up, I've got a sub bass, like a low sine wave at -24. Then I've got a bit of custom made noise. For those of you on my Patreon, you guys know I made like a little folder of noise samples, and yeah, using those like kind of slightly different noise textures, blending that into the sound, we can like get that high end sounding really nice and like authentic. And then I've got a wavetable called the Harmonic Wanderer, which comes in Vital. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in the modulation in a second, because I'm going to be automating between the frames. So it starts at 1 and I'm automating it all the way up and down on LFO here. And then, yeah, this guy, the distortion, the little texture of white noise and this wavetable, they are kind of in the same group. And then this whole group is going to FM into another sine wave, which is at -12. So it's kind of like a little bit higher up than the sub bass. But that's going to like give a real like big FM growly sound when we put that together. So let's have a little look into the modulation. So what I've done again is I've used a main LFO to control everything on like this simple kind of ramp down. And then I've got a secondary LFO, which is going to be playing with the position of the phase of the first one. And so what this is going to allow us to do is get these extra like funkier rhythms happening that are not just a simple ramp down. So that's just, a little bit of extra like funkiness. I've talked about that before in the last few videos. And yeah, so what this ramp down is controlling, like I said, it's controlling the frame rate of this main harmonic wanderer here. And it's also going to be controlling the level of the noise. So the noise is going to sort of come up and down. And the great thing about having one of these noise samples in is you can choose the start position and you'll get slightly different texture each time. So you can just like kind of keep going until you find one that kind of works with the rest of the sounds. And what I did with this noise is it was a little bit too quiet still, and I'm automating it to come up on my ramp all the way to 200%. But it's still a bit too quiet, so I just added a little cheeky distortion here just to drive it up a bit louder. But yeah, this harmonic wanderer is down at sort of minus 24. And it sounded cool when I turned the harmonic up like this as well. But I like it down here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the global unison frequency stack. And I did this quite early on when I was designing the sound, and I sort of designed the sound around, the result that this unison brings, because it's just so like interesting always. So if I turn the range like how it would be normally, it's quite sort of high, it almost takes everything up an octave. But if I leave the range down at minus 100, I just got a really, really nice kind of unison. It's like quite smooth in the end. But yeah, that is a cool element that I might put on a macro to have like this more squeakier version. But this is more like a NEURO bass. And it's going to get really good when we add in a filter in a minute. But a few more things with the voicing. I got the glide set on, of course. And in the actual pattern that I've programmed, it definitely makes use of these kind of glide notes. So those are essentially the main kind of voices that all kind of work together. And it already sounds pretty nice. But now let's go over to the effects and start to really like bring the sound into the next level.
Effects.
So out of these kind of 6 effects that I'm using, I would say we've got the first 3 are the most important, and they really do a lot to the sound. So the first one is the sine distortion, and we're going to be modulating this as well. As you can see, it's already moving here. And yeah, you can see how crazy that makes a difference, And it's dirtied up the sound, but it's still retained the power and the cleanliness of the low end. And so what I'm doing is I'm just mixing the bias, because it's kind of changing the shape of it, and that's giving like another like tone to the sound. And then I'm also mixing the amount of distortion as well here. But yeah, that sounds really great already. And then I was missing like a little bit of white noise or a bit of high end, so I added in a ring mod, which is quite important here. And you see it just gives that whole like new like crunchy texture on top of the sound. And what I've done is I've just mixed the frequency, so it kind of like, it's almost like a little bit of a low pass filter that opens up to get that high end, sort of like pumping on my LFO here. And again, like the mix of the overall kind of ring mod is also on the LFO. So we got that kind of crunchy high end noise, hitting every time that ramp goes down as well. So like it just adds to the dynamic like shape of the sound in a positive way. And then this is where it gets really cool. The non-linear filter. This is where like it's just targeted this area and sort of unleashed this sort of almost vocally growly kind of aspect to the sound. So yeah, it's quite a sharp cue, the saturated mode, driven up quite a nice amount, and then it's just modulated the cutoff here, around, I think this is sort of, around 500 hertz. And just in that specific area, it's quite different if you go too high or too low, but just right in that middle range, That's why I sort of unlocked this like humanized vocally kind of growl sound that I really liked, and completely happened by accident. And yeah, that's just where the sound got to that level where I thought this is wicked. So the next kind of effects were just like a little bit of extra, like a tiny bit of delay, like 1%, and then a little bit more kind of saturation with a hard clipping, and then just boosting the high end a bit, and that's basically it. So that's like all the effects really, and I think I've covered like most parts sufficiently. Like sometimes with these complex patches, I might miss one or two things out, and then someone in Discord's normally like circling with a screenshot like what does this thing do here. So sorry if I missed anything out, but I think I covered most of the important parts. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the arrangement. So like I said, with the MIDI, I had a little bit of a sort of gliding up note, so it's a F, and I just have this part where it goes up to C sharp, and if you listen to that part on its own, dum 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 dum, and that part is my favorite part. You know how it sort of glides. That gives a real like character to the kind of bass line. But yeah, really dope sound. I'll drop this one for you guys in the Discord group as well. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, my G's. Hope you have a fantastic week. And I'll try to do some more cool videos if I get time as well. Peace out, much love. Don't do anything I wouldn't. Ciao for now. Ciao Bella. Arigato gozaimasu.